Hi, I'm gonna react / talk about the Volume 6 trailer for RWBY, which I wasn't expecting to come out soon. I'm not good at keeping track of times. As you can tell, I'm not good with times. I'm recording this at like 20 to 2 in the morning. I'm a bit of a mess. Yeah, this is probably the worst time for me to record it because I was planning on going to sleep afterwards, but I'm probably going to be too excited now, but it's fine, let's do it. It's for RWBY. Let's see what's going on, let's talk. Oh. Talk about animation improvement, look at that.
It's important not to lose sight of what drives us.
Oh, Lights looks so cute with the scarf and the tights.
Justice.
Not there when they mention love, that's sad.
Reverence.
Oh, please
But
don't.
the moment you put your desires before my own, they will be lost to you.
Well, I mean, that's what I have to
This
say.
isn't a threat.
Okay.
This is simply the truth.
So Tyrion's coming back and so it's going to happen with Emerald. RWBY has my sentiments. So much going on.
What's the plan, RWBY?
Don't let anyone else die!
I mean, it's a good plan. Difficult plan. I'm not sure if that plan will come to fruition. Okay. That was a lot in a good amount of time, and it hasn't completely given away the plot, which lots of trailers do these days, so they've actually done what a trailer's meant to do. Okay, let's try and unpack this, because I'm going to try not to talk for hours about this trailer and just get my thoughts down now. So, boom, number 1, animation is definitely improved. I'm quite proud of them. Also, who's this? Who's this little... I don't know if you can see the arrow pointing on this thing. I've been trying to avoid anything about the trailer. I heard someone call her space guitar or something. Of course, she's in wise old lady vibes, but I wonder who she is. Those goggle things are cool, I like her design. But yeah, I like Whitey's clothes. I love how it's freezing cold, and then she's just like, oh okay, time for tights. And the cute red scarf. Red like the inside of her jacket. And Saint Nick, who's her grandfather. I can't remember all of these things, you know, World of Remnants, blah blah blah. But, excuse me. I am very glad to see that back in a colour scheme, because her first outfit, which is a bit of an unpopular opinion, but her first outfit was my favourite, despite the different animation engine. Just though, the Volume 2 outfit was nice. But, yeah, I'm happy with that. She looks cute. I think everyone else's are the same. Which is... I mean, that's fine, that's valid. I think Blake and Yang, they've been, wearing, the crop tops and the, semi-revealing outfits anyway, even, at night when it would have been a bit cold, so, yeah. There's the sort of trope where cartoon characters, or just animated characters in general, just don't change their outfits in most shows, or not regularly. But, I think with those characters it makes sense, because, they're just like that. I don't know if they can get cold. You know, girls who wear short outfits are made out of tougher stuff. Just don't feel the cold. And girls who wear heels are made out of tougher stuff. I don't know how they do it. But yeah, this is interesting. Like either they've focused specifically on the important people, or they actually get separated. Because I mean, we know Junior, the remains of Team Juniper are in here somewhere. Because we get some Renora somewhere. Where is it? Where's my other OTP? Where are they? There they are. I love them so much. Also, they're fighting a groom. It doesn't look to be like a beowulf with those paws, but I can't be bothered to go back through it and see if I can see like specific animal features, because I don't want to study the anatomy of Grimm. I'm here for a fun time. Yeah. What else is happening? Oh dear, they're all kind of I don't know, they're all kind of separated, and I don't know if it's because they're just like don't want to animate the characters walking too close to each other, but yeah, look. Like our boy Oscar or Ozpin, Oz, I'm gonna call them as one unit, I think. Oz is back there by himself, so it could be Oscar not feeling like part of the group, or Ozpin hanging back because he's shady and like he doesn't seem to have many friends, Ozpin. But Yang letting this new character sit on her bike, that seems yeah, that's reasonable. Being so considerate, bless her. I want to know who this lady is here so badly, but I'm not going to try and go through every fictional character who hasn't been in RWBY yet until I find one that matches her. I'm just digging the cool Star Warsy sci-fi vibe that she's getting, and I'm hoping that if she stays on Yang's bike for so long, she helps Yang come to certain realizations about certain team members, a certain team member, and maybe some stuff about Oz and the nature of the battle as well. Obviously, I'm not just here for the ships. I mean, ship fan art did get me into the show, but I do care about the plot. Also, lamp, the relic. Definitely looks like a lamp. RWBY seems to have used her edgy buckled outfit and used one of the many buckles or something here. Or no wait, that's her belt, isn't it? Yeah, you can see the little stakey bits. Yeah, it's hung on her belt. I don't think she should have that on full display, even though most people don't know what it is. I'm a bit cautious, but yeah, I'm hoping that these girls aren't separated because of anime. Like, I hope they're separated more because of animation rather than they're not getting on. I want there to be some tension, but I think after all of this time of them being separated, at least a couple of them have to get on more easily, surely. Even if it's just like RWBY and Weiss or something. Not to demean their dynamic. It's just they've had like, I don't want to say they've had their development, because I would like them to continue developing, but you know what I mean. Some dynamics are still developing. Like Yang and Blank, and Weiss's characters become more involved with Yang as well, so it'd be cool to see those two interact more. I'd like to see Blake and Ruby. Oh, I want to see all of them interact, but Blake and Ruby, that's an important one. Anyway. But what here? They mention about love or something, don't they?
Love.
Oh, Blake's not there when they mention love. That's, I don't know if that was an intentional thing, but that makes me a little bit sad. Oh dear. But yeah, like, they go with Juniper somewhere and they must get separated, or Juniper must leave. I'm hoping they don't die. Or at least, we see John the least. I don't know if that was a decision or if he's just... I don't know if that's a decision because he's a bit controversial in the fandom, let's say. Or if they actually, like, put him less in the volume. He's not one of my favourite characters, so I wouldn't miss him too much, is all I'm going to say. But, I'm glad to see some Ren and Nora because they got some cool development during Volume 4 and then it just kind of stopped for a bit. And I'd like to see their development continue. But yeah. They say love and there's no Blake there. That's sad.
Justice.
More white thing nonsense. There was the idea that Atlas might have a... because Atlas seems to be like the Faunus Discrimination Central, that they might have a particular... How do I word this? The Faunus there might be a bit more desperate because the pressure in there, in Atlas, is more direct. And I know that there's a fair chance they won't get to Atlas. I haven't read all the articles and all the spoilers. I know some of them because the internet, but I don't know if anyone's mentioned that whether or not they get to Atlas. And like, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. But even like just bordering Atlas, I imagine the situation's quite similar. So yeah, that could be like where Adam's planning to go. Unless he's like stalking the villains. He might also be going to Atlas. Like what people thought Watts might be going to Atlas because he's the Atlas one and he's a smart guy. He's the evil scientist, he's Frankenstein. You know. So that makes sense. And then this is here. What is this thing? Like
Reverence.
and then they purposely don't show you. It's like a pain in the arse. It looks like Adam or someone. I can't think of many people that dress in black. And it's just like I'd rather it be one like the other maidens or something dressed in black. I'm not like doing this video to theorise because I'm not going to theorise. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, this is definitely what's going to happen in a show where the headmaster Dumbledore figure will get killed by Cinderella and reincarnated into a 14-year-old who may or may not be Dorothy, or that evil Cinderella might be Dorothy, or the Red Riding Hood might be Dorothy. I'm just going to say things that I would like to sort of happen based on what I see, or ignore what I see and just say what I'd like to happen. But yeah, I'd rather this be like a new maiden or something than Adam suddenly having other powers that we haven't seen. There's a theory that he has silver eyes, but I hope not. I would rather him just be wearing a mask because like the whole white fang thing and like it being a grim mask to sort of scare people, and like his whole thing, he's an abuser and he's meant to, his power comes from fear and not actual power that he has. So as soon as the mask is gone, you see he's like an actual person. And I'd also like him to die, but like I don't know how City stands on that. But yeah, so I'm really hoping he doesn't get all of this weird worship and flying powers. But like, if Rooster Teeth have a good story about someone who likes long coats and is dressed in dark grey / black, who has various followers, he seemed mostly human actually. I'm literally just talking as I'm going along. I can't script this, it would take 2 hours. Yeah, this could be a maiden. I feel a bit more relieved. I'm not going to try and predict, but they seem human unless they just happen to all have like claws and tails as their traits. That's a relief. And we get some other stuff. We get Salem. It's interesting that she says like, my needs matter before yours, and that. I wonder if she's like looked at Cinder and her fall, and was like, yeah, no one do that. No one mess up my plans with your agendas. I hope so. I love it when characters, both good and bad, learn from their experiences, and they can either like progress or regress, but like they learn something and they change based on it, and it affects them. I would like that. I'd like to see some more Salem development. Even if we don't see her a lot on screen, I would like some reasoning. And this is interesting. Because, like, I don't care about Tyrion, per se. He's kind of like a stock trope of, like, the maniacal murderer. I do like the villain team, but the new villains are sort of like Cinder split up, which I can elaborate on in another video if anyone wants that, or if I get to the point where I have time to just talk about Cinder for ages, because I will, because I like her as a character a lot. But yeah, so Tyrion is less interesting to me, because he seems more like a character trait that's been made into a different villain from an old villain. Whereas we have Emerald, who's sort of like an OG villain, even though I think she can be redeemed, which makes this interesting, because I don't think they've ever focused on her in a trailer. I don't even know if they've had volume trailers before, because I have not been in the fandom long enough, other than obviously Red, White, Black, Yellow, and the Volume 4/5 trailers. I watched Volume 4 and 5 in like 2 days, so I struggled to distinguish the difference between some of the things, and the trailers, and the timings and when they came out, but there's barely been any focus on Emerald, up until like Cinder going down, and now she's here, like right in the middle of a trailer, and I'm really hoping that she gets developed and she can possibly get a redemption arc, because she's not being portrayed as a villain, like not as not a villain. That's a bit. She's killed people. She's been portrayed as a villain in the show, but I mean in this specific depiction in the trailer.
This isn't a threat. This is simply the truth.
Yeah, like, this isn't the threat, this is simply the truth, and Emerald looks terrified as a well-known murderer who likes to kill things for fun is leaning over her. She doesn't seem... Emerald is threatened and not threatening. So something's going on. I love the villain team, even if like half of the characters are Cinder split up. I do want to see some villains. Maybe not the way they were shown in Volume 4, I think that could have been handled a bit better in hindsight, but I think with all the attention like RWBY's been getting, there's been a lot of criticism, and some of it has been quite valid in its points, and the writers, I think, have looked on that. So maybe they seem to, in my opinion, with the Adam character short, which I really like, they seem to have thought about how they portray characters, especially antagonistic ones, and whether they are how bad they are and how they got there and stuff like that. Because the Adam character short was sort of like how he got there, in how like some of his behaviour was like almost rewarded or praised, but out of this specific thing you did was helpful and not like your ideology and your morality is good. Sometimes like there was just an unfortunate crossover, and abusers do sort of use charm to sort of persuade people into thinking they're trustworthy. So the whole Adam character short, it provided a lot of sort of insight onto how he got as far as he did, when we know how evil he is, because other characters in the show did not, because we were given information that those characters weren't. So, I'm wondering if they can do the same thing but in reverse with Emerald. Because like even in RWBY Chibi there was that you're not even evil, you're evil curious joke or something that Mercury says to her, which was it was interesting. So like even the writers are like, yeah, she doesn't even come across as fully evil. And it's like, so they clearly know what people are saying about her, and they've taken it to heart. So yeah, maybe they are going to redeem her, or maybe this is a red herring and she'll almost get redeemed and then something will get in the way, or who knows. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. As one of the only resident Emerald fans in the fandom, apparently there's not many of us. No, I thought that was pretty cool. Sorry if you can hear my flat notes.
This is simply the truth.
Lots of new side characters that have been introduced, so that was interesting on my tails. And look at this. Hold on. I'm gonna go for. Oh wait. That's either like the Sphinx or the Manticore. I think because of the bird wings and the size, it's probably the Sphinx, because the Manticore looked like they were going to make it a huge thing. Unless maybe they did change the size and made the Manticore small and the Sphinx big. That was a lucky pause for me. I didn't mean to pause it there. But yeah, as someone who loved monster design, that, from what I can see, is fabulous. And I'm excited to see more Grimm. I love the concept. They've been used a bit as cannon fodder in the show, but like, that's okay. They're bringing new, more powerful types of Grimm, so I think they've seen that sort of criticism and they're working on it. I'm not saying that because they've listened to criticism that everything's going to be 100% perfect, but there's potential for growth, which I appreciate and respect. Okay, so here it seems to be, this is an Oz thing. I'm guessing Ozpin's going to be taking over Oscar. Either like Well, if he's on the ground, it looks like it's going to be forcefully or something. There's some kind of confrontation, and it's going to be Ozpin, because it can't be Oscar, because Oscar is a good, sweet boy. Unless, plot twist, he's not. But I trust him. I trust Oscar. He seems like a good boy. Nice. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. But this is an interesting thing, because we don't know how far, we don't know how much. Well, we know Blake at the moment knows nothing, but later on they're also going to have to just tell her about this whole mess about the end of the world and the maidens and what Salem is like and the Oz situation, and oh yeah, by the way, Yang's mom is a maiden, if Yang's ever going to tell anyone. Sorry if you can hear my flatmates. But yeah, I mean, like, if you look, Blake is literally like reaching for Gamble Shroud. Like, she's not like confused, like, oh, he's transforming. It's literally like ready to actually fight, like physically defend, protect someone or attack someone. Which is like, I could have passed that off as like confusion about the transformation if Ruby didn't look terrified. She literally looks like that's like some volume 3 expressions right there. She ain't happy. She's a shade past concerned. And Yang, in volumes 4 and 5, she has looked like she wants to punch any man she sees. This has not changed. She very much looks ready to kick ass. I mean, look at that. Her robot arm is making a fist. If her expression wasn't enough to go by, look at her hand. She's gonna punch. You can see Oz is outstretching a hand. So, whoever is in control or fighting for control is in a desperate situation here. So this is a whole mess. I don't know what expression Weiss is pulling. She seems a bit more, I think she's considering things. I think she's used to, her whole backstory and Atlas having to pick who to trust and things like that. She might be a bit more reserved in her distrust in this situation. It's impossible to tell. This is like, you just see like a split second. But this is very interesting. I do want Ozpin to be called out for being a morally dubious character, for the girls to acknowledge that. I'm not like team Ozpin is definitely 100% the main villain, Cinder was right all along sort of thing. And I'm just sort of like, I would like these characters to acknowledge that Ozpin has done he's committed some both morally and logical mistakes. The characters, I want them to recognise their own shortcomings and that of the person they follow. I think that would be a really good source of development. It would help things would make more sense. It creates tension. I want there to be cool fights and development with the whole maiden things and everything, but I want like a character driven volume, ideally. I I want sort of relationships to be tested and some to be fixed and some to be broken. I want characters to make important decisions that will affect the entire plotline. And I want to feel like it's them doing it. So this is like, this sort of completely embodies that. So that is very interesting. What else is there? Right, I've gone a bit far. But yeah, there we go, that's a Grim. There's that bad boy down there. We see Oscar. He looks concerned, but also, finally, we see Ruby uses her semblance. You can tell they've listened to fans, because she's using her semblance. And I'm so happy. Because whenever you have like a super-powered character, I know she's not like a superhero or something, but like, for just terminology's sake, when you have a superpowered character, and they're up against like some kind of issue, and they don't use that superpower, that, like, it just creates this sort of like, you suspend your disbelief for the show and for any story, and you go along if it creates its own logic that you can stick to and understand, you know, canon. So whenever a superpowered character just doesn't use her superpowers, even though it would fix the problem or at least give them a huge advantage, it's sort of like, you're like, oh, this doesn't make any sense, what's the point, sort of thing. I think like Volume 4 probably, Volume 5 definitely, Ruby could have made a lot of things easier if she had used her semblance, like the fight at the end at the school. She could have zoomed past people. And of course she could have used her silver eyes, but obviously I don't expect a silver eyed shot in this trailer, because that would mean like one specific thing. Because we know silver eyes affects Grim. Don't people think they affect maidens? I mean, Cinder's always been part Grim because she's had the bug, and now she has the Nucleavive arm. So things that hurt Grim would of course hurt her. But we don't have any evidence for or against silver eyes affecting maidens. It's a big question mark. We don't know what maidens come from. We know they come from Ozpin's magic, but we don't know what the nature of that is in comparison to whatever the Grimm are, because we're not even sure what the Grimm are. Well, we have Ozpin's story, but we're not even sure how that goes. Not sure if he's telling the truth. It's a whole mess. But yeah, I'm happy we see the semblance. I don't think I'd want to see the silver eyes in the trailer. I don't think we do at all. I think that'd be a big dramatic shot. It makes a lot more sense for me to just show the semblance, because that's what the people want, and it wouldn't give away any plot details. For silver eyes, you'd need like either someone with Grimm parts or an army of Grimm, and for her to be taught how to use them, or for something traumatic enough to trigger them to happen, which are spoilers, but her zooming about isn't. And it's an interesting shot. I wonder if Ruby's having doubts. I hope so. That would be fantastic. Let's give Ruby a time to shine. Oh, they're standing together, the partners. The shipper and me just had a moment amongst all this series. And there we go, more Emerald focus. Give my girl some love. She deserves it. The fandom does not treat her well. Salem's treated better than Emerald's treated, and Salem's been here for like 5 minutes. Oh dear. And of course we have Adam ruining everything. And we're going to have the really driving home the Oz conflict. I am here for it. There's some Coronora stuff down there. Salem. Oh. Ruby might be jumping to save Weiss by jumping off a very high bridge on a train tracks and that. That's okay. Yeah. I'm glad that Salem's important. I'm glad that we're getting some conflict, some character development. Yeah, and Blake are finally standing just next to each other. I'm getting emotional. I'm not gonna like jump up and down or squeal, but I'm pretty optimistic. I'm pretty excited. I'm not like maybe during the first episode when we hear the new theme tune I'll be, but they've hinted at quite a few things that I kind of wanted without giving too much away. Like, they're on a journey, not all the characters of the huge cast of characters are going to be there, and they're going to Atlas where it's cold, and it's like, yeah, and they're going to fight some Grim, and these characters who have their own conflicts are going to have to face them. And it's like, yeah, that's what I wanted. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm not saying this is everything I've ever wanted from RWBY, but they're doing their job. I was going to watch it before anyway, but now I really want to watch it, so I'm optimistic. I know people don't like new RWBY, but I'm here for it. Let's go. I'm trying not to make this too long, so I'll wrap it up unless I have like something comes out and I have like this thing that I really need to get out because I'm desperate. But yeah, I mean, other things I want to see. I want Cinder to come back. That might have been her on the poster, or maybe the new Maiden. Maybe that's in black. The person in black. Who knows? And some Team Stark stuff would be nice. And obviously, bees. I mean, good character development. Yeah, I'm pleased. I'm happy. Thanks, Rooster Teeth. No, I just need them to not copyright block my video so I can actually upload it and share it with you. That's what they've done with Nomad of Nowhere. But yeah, I'm going to tell people to watch this. That's where I'm at. I'm excited. But anyway, I mean, let me know what you think in the comments, if you care. Are you excited? Are you going to see it? Are you going to go to the premiere? What are you looking forward to? What do you want from your next volume? Tell me what you want. Go ahead. But yeah, I will see you later. And I will go to bed and try not to obsess about this show.